Hello everyone, hello, and welcome to Ginger Prime. My name is Brian. If you're new around here, but if you're a returning subscriber, you are a legend. And what are we doing tonight? Well, what we're doing is we're testing out Final Fantasy XIV's patch 6.01's Q to see if they've been able to address the 2002 eras. And you can actually see that right up here in the corner, beyond my hand, getting it cut off in this regards. So you can see that going on right here. We're going to be playing New World. We're going to be watching that queue. If we get into Final Fantasy XIV and there's no errors, and this is me not running multiple clients, this is me not trying to do any kind of shenanigans, jumping in and out, you know, left or right, up or down. That's going to be something that we're going to see if it will let us into Final Fantasy XIV tonight. If we do, we'll fire up a continuing the story stream and playing some more Final Fantasy XIV. But until then, we've got the Winter Convergence patch 1.2, and even tonight patch 1.21 rolls out for New World. So there's a lot to do. I just hit level 54, been having a really good time with it, been running some of the new quests. I think my goal tonight is going to be just try to get as much experience as possible before either that pops or that fails. One way or another, we're going to have some fun tonight. And hey Varix, how you doing? Thanks for being here first in chat. Varix also saying didn't have any 2002 or other areas this evening. That gives me hope. If this fixes the kick out of the queues, I think Final Fantasy XIV is going to be a game that I can return to playing in the evening. So I'm very excited to hear about that. So, all right, I just knocked out some quests downstairs. I was kind of hanging out with the family. They have all decided to go to sleep. How many quests can I turn in here? 2 quests ready for turn in. That's promising. And then I've got quests that I need to do up here. Man, so many quests. And then how many? That's just enemy of my enemy. Okay, well, let's head over here. Let's get some of these things turned in. Let's get some free experience that I've already done the work for. What's going on, Zachary? How you doing tonight? And thanks for whoever hit that like button. Whoever was the first person to hit the like on the stream. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully y'all having fun. I'm actually going to bring in chat. We're just hanging out here in the New World chill room. If you want to come hang out and talk, general rules apply. Just be, you know, I guess YouTube safe. Have a decent mic, and we can hang out and talk about anything you guys want. Let's bring Chad in. Chad is here. What's up, dude? Anybody join us while I was introing?
I don't believe so.
All right, cool.
No, sadly, just the 2 of us.
Just the 2 of us. Just the 2 of us. We can game it if we try. Actually, it was so funny. While we were playing a second ago, like, so this is Marin, and we were like just talking and hanging out, and literally like in the game we just like ran past each other. It was really, I thought it was a really kind of fun moment in which it's like, hey, oh,
completely. I was just like, oh, there's a green name, and it's just like, wait a minute, it's Brian.
Yeah. Do you have you ever follow like Brian Regan, like as a comedian? You ever like listen to any stand up?
I know of him.
He had this great joke, and I'm gonna butcher it just because that's the nature of it. But he had this great joke about, like, you ever see like logging trucks passing each other on the freeway? You think a phone call could fix that problem? Like, oh, you had logs? I had logs. I'll send in new logs. Oh, I was sending new logs. It was just, I was like, that's what I think about when I run, like, oh, randomly run past people. Mind Creepers TV, it says, hasn't gotten 2002 in days. I still got them, but tonight's patch apparently was the goal to fix it. We'll see here if it's successful. Ultimately, we'll find out. But yeah, I think also since Spider-Man came out, I think it's been getting easier to log into Final Fantasy XIV, which is nice.
Oh yeah, because people are going the night showings.
Yeah, like get out of the house, go stretch your legs. Why not? All right, should I go? I'm thinking I'm gonna head here first. And I'm gonna work on this quest. I'm just focusing on green things. We'll go from there. If y'all haven't seen that map, we just got merged. We just server merged into what server am I on? Flamingo?
Pleroma?
Pleroma. Oh my gosh, that's just gonna be a nightmare for me to learn how to pronounce correctly.
I was talking to Night Soul last night, and I'm just like, I'm kind of salty that we got merged into the server.
I think rightfully so. Like, let's just pull up the map.
We had so much good stuff on our server. Yeah. And then we come here, and it's like everything's like tier 2 or tier 3.
Oh, yeah. Everything's just
and like
downgraded.
The taxes are super high.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
and Covenant owns everything. So we've been clawing back. Yeah. We've been clawing it back. Looks like Marauders actually
yesterday?
getting some representation here.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
They just
some
hey.
stuff changed in a couple minutes.
I know, dude. That's the thing that's really cool about this game. Oh no, there we go. Hold up. I gotta fix this. I have the bug in my controller setup that's like, if I'm in the wrong mode, it's like it's gonna make me pay for it. Anyway. Oh, it's not in the game's fault. Well, the game needs to officially support controllers. That's my thing. I'm fine with it how it is now. At least I can play. I don't think I'd play as much as if it didn't have any controller support. But geez, here's the wish. See here. Honestly, this is such an amazing. I love this zone.
Windsward or?
What zone am I in actually? Like, I mean, just get the name correct. I can't pronunciate things. Eden's Grove. Eden Grove's so beautiful.
Beautiful. Freaking pain in the butt to navigate.
Yeah. Where am I going?
Because it's like all the guys are freaking on the road, and so you either have to fight them.
Yeah.
Which there's one every 10 feet.
Yeah. It is a battle. It is an attrition battle. Yeah.
Or you have to like find different routes around them, and it's just really annoying.
Yeah. If you like combat, go to Eden's Grove this summer.
Basically.
It sucks like there's no like I'm not really leveling up and like there's no faction map representation here in Eden's Grove apparently.
No, the end game zones, which is so Great Cleave, I'm not sure why that's considered one of those zones. But the top 3 zones, aside from Morningdale, they're end game zones. That's where you're supposed to farm generally.
I wonder if we'll see that evolve like
you
as the game evolves.
surrounded the sanctuary with light and think that's a form of protection.
In the expansion, because
that seems to be a fairly extreme leap of logic. You would need a very potent.
I'm wondering if those will be able to be
blighted. The infection would spread underground and block the flow. Even if we were to, we must attempt to delay that. She is the caretaker of this sanctuary.
But we'll see what happens.
I believe you will be able to.
I mean, that's at least a year or 2 off. So.
You think the expansion is a year off?
At least.
Has its own recipes.
Let's clean up some of this mess.
I would wager probably 2 or 3, but.
Oh man, 3 years to an expansion. That I don't know. I kind of expect who knows? Like it all depends on like what they want.
To me, 2 years is a good pace.
2 years is a really good pace. But it's got to be immediate expansion, meaning like it's like holy crap, and then it also then relates on what their update schedule looks like. Legendary Mike.
Well,
yeah, dude. Like I was actually when I got in queue before I go on live, getting all set up, I was at 3K. So it's like it's moving, and as long as it doesn't kick me out, that's what I'm testing for tonight. That's what I'm wanting to see tonight. All right. Perfect. All right, what am I doing here? Oh, okay. Got quest stuff over here. I like how they've added icons to the the different quest types, like a side quest versus an MSQ quest.
Yeah, the MSQ actually has like a little star on it.
Yeah,
which is kind of neat.
That is it pops like it legitimately pops up. It goes very nicely. Plays very nicely. I'm really liking the hatchet. Oh yeah, oh good. Eden's Grove has presence. I feel like I'm just like checking off 30 boxes right now as I'm just playing. Like why not work on winter convergence and level up and do this? Like that is a recipe. Like you're like, hey Brian, I'm making a game. What would you like to see in it? And it's like honestly, like the more bars and check boxes I can fill up at any one time, like you're gonna make this like video game nerds like dream. Like what do you mean I can progress on 17 quests all at the same time by doing what I like, just by playing and having a good time. Oh.
And work on my professions.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and there's a post game like infinite progression system where XP matters. This is great. Yeah, that's actually one of the things I need them to do. And once I hit 60, I know you have the expertise system. But once I hit 60, I literally just want like to make sure like keep giving me XP and let XP have some kind of value. Like I love how they've done it with the, you know, all the trade skills and gathering skills. Then that needs to apply to my main level, and I'll be pleased as punch.
At first, when they announced the boxes for the professions, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But then it's just like they should do. I was like, they should do leveling first, and then I'm like, wait a minute. You're going to be working on your professions the vast majority of the time.
Yeah.
So that makes sense to, you know.
Yeah. If there's an order of operations, they can also test the professions before they bring it into the bigger, you know, kind of thing. And I think that's like, oh yeah, okay. So optionally,
but I don't know what they would do. I don't know what they would do for the for like additional leveling experience. I don't know, because to me the logical choice would be like a piece of gear.
Or gypsum or something like that, where it's like
that's the other thing too. I was thinking maybe gypsum or like crafting materials or something, so like everyone can use.
I just think just like as a kind of a generic, like really cool loot box that has like a table and has all kinds of opportunity. So that way that as the game expands, they could always continue to add more items in that loot table. And so all of a sudden you're like, oh, these are really valuable, you know? Get my ass kicked.
Yeah,
right now. There we go. I won. There we go.
Oh yeah, the lynxes, dude, are freaking ridiculous.
I thought I had food on, but I guess like maybe I'm nuts. Well, you're right. Like Eden's Grove's like navigation is like lots of hills, lots of horizontal verticals. So I'm getting this archer just like picking at me while I'm fighting a lynx, and then I beat the lynx, and then I got to go deal with the archer, and I'm like, all right.
The archer, the Angry Earth archers, I hate them so much.
Looks like Sean changed their name from Sir Bob a Duck, so unless both Sean and Sir Bob have the same profile picture, and that would be wild. My twin brother. Azurite, what's up? It's 3:30 a.m. in the UK for you. Oh my gosh, dude.
3:30?
Yeah, oof. You are a legend. Like I was sitting here, I was like, oh, you know, I want to play, so I was playing. We were playing downstairs, and then it's like all of a sudden, I was like, I really also want to test out. Can I get into 14? But I don't have to work tomorrow, and you know, maybe the kids.
That's cool.
Maybe the kids will be nice. I mean, I don't get paid when I don't work, so it's not like, you know, that's
your contract. So that makes sense,
right? So it's like basically, I'm saying. Are we okay? Can we not like get paid for a week and a half and be okay? And the answer was yes. And I was like, great. Well, he blew up. I was like, let me go ahead and get some rest, you know, because I was like, I'll be much better for all of, you know, the work that has to be done in January. If I'm actually going into January, not winded, you know, not like, man, I worked, I always work. I never get a day off. Like, so.
Yeah. I freaking not discovered, but my mom was like, you should take some time off. I was like, no, I need to work. And she sent me a thing that was like, you know, when you sign the contract to work, you didn't sign your life away.
Yep.
You know, and it's like, yeah.
It's hard. I struggle with that. Like I really do. Like I get an enjoyment I get from like making things. And that's actually one of the things that I really have identified that I enjoy about being making YouTube videos and stuff. It's like there is literally an idea on paper, and then I think about it, and then I put words to it, and then I try to make it visually interesting, you know, to convey the message of the words. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Julie's calling me. All right, I'm back. I totally forgot what we were talking about, but either way.
Oh crap.
Yeah, we were like, Julie was calling because she's like, did you text your parents? Because My sister-in-law just got COVID, and so we were all like trying to figure out like, well, you know, do we go to Christmas or like are we all just kind of in lockdown? So it's COVID Christmas round 2. This is exactly what happened this time last year. So it's like, all right, back at it.
Do much about it.
Yeah, I gave my sister and my parents, like my sister's coming to town. I was like, here's the information. We saw them yesterday. You let us know, because you know, like I don't want to make you guys uncomfortable at all. But you know, if you guys are like, you know, over it, then like, okay, great. Boom, 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 boom. Let's see here.
I have to make room for 95 pounds of crap
in your inventory.
In my inventory,
dude. Yeah, like I'm like, that's the thing. Like as soon as I'm at 60, man, I'm gonna be sitting here like investing money in bag space, man. I'm glad they're making the changes to teleportation. Like that's actually really nice. Oh, even your storage? Like, are you not going to another town?
I mean, I'm thinking of changing my. I have to find out. Oh, not 95 pounds. That's mostly. Okay.
Yeah, and
it wasn't 95 pounds. It was 72.5 pounds of oil, and then
of oil alone. Oh man, you've been rocking that oil.
Okay.
Inwix is literally doing the same. After off after tomorrow, going to be a good week. I'm off starting tomorrow, and I returned to work January 4th is what I keep telling people. And I said that if anybody needs me, because like I've fulfilled like all my contractual duties. That I was like, if anybody needs me, that's beyond, you know, beyond what we've agreed to. You're gonna have to talk with my wife, and she's gonna have to approve the overtime. Like, oh, okay, you want Brian to go work? Okay, well, this is, you know, like for him to not spend time with his kids and relax and like play Halo and watch Christmas movies and eat cookies. This is what it's gonna cost more. It's not gonna cost the normal rate. We'll see if your emergency is a real emergency.
Let's see. Graded. Damn.
Where is this? What am I looking for? Find Exala in her glade. Alright. I love that Angry Earth are weak to like hatchets and, you know, slashing. I'm like, yeah. I came prepared.
Yeah.
All axes all the time. I capped out on my sword. So I'm just leveling up the different weapons now, which is fun. I wonder if they'll add that some kind of system to the weapons, you know? Yeah, you just gain an extra weapon level that, you know, it's fun.
How would that work? Would they give you what, like a new weapon or something? If you got the box?
That'd be neat. I mean,
if you
like a new weapon, that like a new weapon roll. Ooh, purple helm. Hey, T-Pat, how you doing? Oh, he said he had to change it. He's looking for a new job. Had to be professional. It's funny because people like, I'll get in a meeting and people are like, Ginger Prime, what's this? Like, well, let me tell you about what I do when I'm not coding and doing these professional business meetings. I talk about video games. And sometimes somebody was like, holy crap. And I was like, what? And they're like, you're a YouTuber. I'm like, I mean, if you could call me that, I don't know.
I don't know, man. Almost 60,000 subs is not something to sneeze at.
I honestly am so thankful to everybody who has subscribed. Like, that is just wild to me. It's just wild.
I mean, yeah, dude. 57,500 people.
Yeah, dude.
Value your opinion.
I don't know if they value it.
Oh my god.
Like, what's this asshole talking about? Let's just get I just like if you're subscribed to me just to be mad, like let me save you. Like, you know, just
people do that, and it's the most bizarre thing.
Like, man, there's so many better things in life.
I hate watch, and I'm just like, I don't understand that at all.
I honestly think that I don't really have many hate watchers. I think I have more people who just like to hate comment because the comments like make no contextual sense to whatever they're trying to say. It's like Yoshi P says this, and they're like, you are literally the worst person. Like, I literally am just sharing Yoshi P's message with you.
It's like they go off the title and then.
Well, even I always feel like my titles are like, I try to like follow general like journalistic publication rules of like convey the right amount of information with as little words as possible. You know, that's a searchable, like in searchable in human terms. One of the things, pro tip for any content creators out there, is that a lot of people title their videos wrong because they title them, they have a theory about it. You need to think how people search. So when you title a video, like how do you search for a piece of content? Like that's how you should title your video. Title it like a human and not how you like, you know, some video titles I've seen from people before. Like I'll go in the last review for my help. I'm like, I have no idea what this video is about. Like, is it like focus it on how humans actually use the internet? And a lot of people like, well, get tripped up on that.
That's the issue I partially have with some other YouTubers is like they'll make like, because we know him or you know him, MMO Bite. Some of the titles of his stuff is like, what the hell is this? I have no idea what this video is about.
And
so you have to click on it.
You have to click on it.
It's like something that I really just have no interest in. And I'm just like, all right, well, that was a waste of time.
Yeah.
Granted, he does make some good content, but his titles are freaking garbage. Like, no offense to him.
Yeah, no offense to him. Like, I don't judge anybody for their titles, but I do agree with your opinion. I'm like, all right, like, I find that like the more that you follow somebody, you can kind of be like, yeah, these are videos that I generally enjoy. For me, I try to color code them. So I'm just generally curious to see like as more and more like time passes, if people actually catch on to the color coding scheme. Because I posted in the about section, so it's not like, oh, I have this hidden codex and everything, like whatever it is. But it's like I generally color code my video thumbnails to help convey what the thumbnail is to somebody who, so that way they're like, okay, this is a video I don't need to watch for Brian. Oh, this is something that I really want to. And I've actually, like, I've always tried to experiment with, like, essentially, if you think about it, in kind of at its core, 4 main categories. New World gets a 5th category because they actually have like developer posts, and so you'll actually see those as orange posts. But on but as far as it goes, like yellow or news, or green or opinion, blue is a guide, and let's see here, yellow, blue, green. Is there a 4th color? Should be a 4th color. And the live thumbnail has a completely different thumbnail. But but essentially it's just sitting here like somebody's like, they wanted more of my opinion in the news, and it's like whenever like it's a news post, a yellow post, I actually try to keep either my opinion to the very end of the video or as minimal as possible and save that for more general discussion, aka green post. So that way it's like I'm not sitting here like, you know, hey guys, I saw that Yoshi P made a post. Yeah, I'm not going to share with you what it says, but here's what I think about it. It's like, no, the majority of it in my mind, like as close to 90+% of a yellow post should be core, you know, what is actually being said, as opposed to like, what are my thoughts on it? But then, you know, people have said that they want, you know, so it's like, I try to find that right balance. Green typically starts off with a premise, you know, that's either like being shared or being communicated with, and then it's more like, here are my thoughts, etc. about it. You know, like we're gonna, you know, I'm just gonna talk. So now you know, for the 23 people here and for the 11 likes. Thank y'all so much. People like, it's, you know, one of these days people are like, if you really want like the real information, you got to go watch Brian play a non-Final Fantasy game, and that's where that's where he puts his best content. It's so funny because like as somebody who's hyper dyslexic, I spent the vast majority of my time focusing on like spelling tests, reading tests, like my language courses, so that I could pass. And so like it's kind of this like I put my best effort in the content that I know isn't generally going to perform for the community, like overall for the community, because I'm like, oh yeah, like this is like, you know, somebody said like,
man,
I
feel for dyslexic people because it's just, I've taught back when I was a teacher for a brief time. I've taught dyslexic students, and it's just so rough for them.
It is a hard, like I'm so happy for my dyslexia, because I was listening to oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name. That feels like it's my week this week. I've just been blanking on everybody's names. my wife shared him with me. He's basically a psychologist. He's a doctor and a gamer, like good game GG or something like that. And yeah, so he's like, actually, like, I was like, oh, he's actually quite large, getting up to like, he's close to 1 million. If anybody knows his name, please sound off in chat. But essentially, he starts talking about like why gifted kids like struggle later in life. Well, I think about it, and it's like talking about how like they never had to work at certain things, and they were always told they were special or they were really good, and then all of a sudden everybody starts just passing them up. And like for me, like one of the things that like my wife and I were talking about, like, you know, because it's like I've always been really good with numbers and with computers and math and coding. Like it's just something that was always something I kind of just I had a passion for, so I think it came easier. But she's like, what happens, and he was talking about in his video, what happens is that they never develop the skills to learn how to work. They never develop the skills to develop, like, you know, the ability to study and to do these things. And she's like, in your case, because of your dyslexia, because you had like this, you know, learning disability, it forced you to have to do those things, to learn those things, despite the fact that like I didn't have to study for calculus because I just got it, but I had to spend hours and hours and hours reading and trying, and then like after like all of that effort, maybe getting an 80. Like I think I had like C, like C was my language. Right. Healthy gamer GG. Thank you very much, Jimmy James. And so it was like, you know, she's like, because of that, like, and I was like, I have always accredited like my dyslexia for a lot of really good things in my life, because essentially like it always kind of helped me keep me humble, because I would say and write something like my mom was in English, you know, she majored in English and all this. She was a teacher and things like that. And so I would put all this work. Same. I'd write these short stories. I always had a passion for writing, and I would like give them to her, and I was so excited, and she would just laugh through my short stories, not because of the content, not because I was trying to write something funny, but because the grammar and the spelling were just so horrible.
As bitter witness
as someone who has an English degree and has proofread for a living,
gardens from the flame. The blight
it gets
so
to me.
Where is the angry earth?
You're like, oh my god,
say a word incorrectly, like not just you, but just people in general. People will say a word incorrectly, and I'm just like,
oh man, you want to see like
be calm, calm.
Yeah.
Don't say anything. Just let them talk. And it's like, all right.
You want to see the community that just cannot stand me within the like Final Fantasy world is those who like, oh yeah, like why can't he say anything correctly? I'm like, I'm not trying to say this incorrectly, but you're talking about
calling an Asmongold.
You know, you're talking about like not just that, but like one of the core challenges now also is that imagine doing something for like 30 years. And then all of a sudden you're like, I have to retrain my brain how to like interpret those letters together. And I'm like, you know, because like for the longest time, like I remember, we probably should make a shirt because it's just too funny. Why won't it let me skin? Let's go. I always was like chibobos. Like I thought chocobos were chibobos, and I don't know why I saw more bees than there were naturally there. But I was like, oh yeah, like, you know, sitting here and I was hanging out with people and I was like, yeah, you get on the chibobo. And my friend looked at me and they're like, what are you saying? Like, what is this word? I'm like, yeah, like, so for Final Fantasy, you know, like 2, aka 4, all the way through, I think it was 11 when actually somebody corrected me. Oh, let me skin.
Wow.
My weapon's like broke.
It might be,
probably a bug.
Might be glitched into the terrain.
Maybe.
That happens. But no, as someone who reads a lot and writes, I couldn't imagine. That would be a terrible thing for me to be dyslexic.
Yeah. Oh man, like I bet that'd be a real challenge. And we're at 16-17, boys. We might be playing some Final Fantasy tonight. Mm-hmm.
Oh, story time?
Yeah, dude, absolutely story time. Like, I will absolutely jump back into the story.
I'm probably gonna, like, I'm waiting for the queues to become reasonable.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Before I get
logical.
back in. So
That's logical.
I'll probably start playing next year sometime.
Oh yeah,
like January.
Oh dude, you should stream it. We love people's tears.
Nah. that's the thing. There were parts of Shadowbringers where people were like, "Oh my god, I cried during this time," and either I am an emotionless bastard or I'm a heartless wretch. I didn't cry at all.
That's perfectly
However,
fine.
there were some moments in the main story of Shadowbringers, like, you know, the 2.0 story, where I was like, "Oh my god, the feels."
The feels. AO
Like-
says War Chickens, and T-Pat says they couldn't spell chocobo, so they called them War Chickens. I think that's more than perfect. And guys, if y'all want, we're just hanging out here in the New World Chill Room. If anybody wants to come hang out with us.
Yeah,
and
I find it amusing that the New World Chill Room is literally like the most active voice channel.
Well, when it comes down, 14 will pick up, but it's oh man, this guy's level 59. Can I beat him? Let's find out. When like that's one of the things that it's so like we kind of were like, yeah, is the surge going to change how people consume and play 14? And the answer is no. Like, you know, you see numbers and everything's just down as pretty much the community goes, all right, we got our new content, we'll see you guys, you know, at some point in the future. And not like to us, like me or Chris or, you know, just Ginger, like, right, but like generally in content consumption. And honestly, I'm really excited to talk to Bellular about it, because I'm curious to see how he's like, you know, hey, what were you expecting? What were your numbers once that happened? You know, like, was it what you expected, or like, do you understand them? You know, overall, just generally kind of like, I think that's going to be an interesting question that I'll have for them.
He's going to be on,
yeah, we'll have him on
Core, or?
Yeah, Crystal Core. So we don't have a date, like, but yeah, and we're also going to see if we can't, like, our thought is that as we've been trying to like set up what I've been calling light parties for like the podcast going forward, because one of the things that was kind of always like the number one like feedback we get is that we like when we were doing it as a 3-person, it always kind of felt like 2 people interviewing 1 person, and it really was just like, oh, we're just hanging out talking. And so people were like, you should let, you know, like, y'all shouldn't even talk, like I want to hear your guests, you know, blah blah blah. And it's like when we switch to the 4-person, it has that more roundtable feel. So it's less about like, oh, you know, like, so it ends up like, it's like, yeah, well, that's what we're gonna go with. So we're gonna, our hope, our ideal setup would be with Pyro and with Belly, to kind of talk to them about like their Endwalker experience and stuff, like coming into 14.
Yeah, since you and Chris are veterans and they're relatively new.
Right, but also then relatively successful in terms of like their own communities and more.
Right, that makes sense.
It's just like, that's what we're looking at. So we had this last week and the same kind of thing with Epic Loot. I was like, Epic Loot is my hope for is to be more MMO like generalized in terms, because we'll have Lost Ark coming up in February and whatnot. But but we had you know, we had Josh Strife Hayes, we had Lono, and then I've got
I watched that one.
Force Gaming. I've got him. We're looking at having him on Epic Loot in January.
Force? Oh, yeah, dude, he's been really he's one of my faves.
Oh, dude, his videos are phenomenal. Like, I really love Force. So I was happy that he agreed.
His viewer, I feel so bad for him because he puts a lot of work into his videos, and they're actually really good. But he gets like crap viewer numbers to me
for his size.
It's for his size,
because he covers a lot of topics. Like, that's the.
Oh, is that why?
I like, honestly, the advice that people tend to tell me is like, they're like Brian, like, that's where like the number one comment that does legitimately like frustrate me, because it's something I actively try not to do, is that it's where it's like, oh, you only talk about this, you only cover what the view numbers are going to be good. It's like have you actually seen my channel? Like, no. Like, I will actively make a video that I know will not perform because I want to make that video, and when I see a trend, I actively stop talking about that stuff as long as I feel like I've covered the subject matter. I don't feel like making the same video over and over again.
So when the crap went down with Blizzard, dude, your channel was such a relief. Yeah, you covered it like one time, and I'm just like, and my YouTube feed was just filled with it, and I was like, I don't care,
and
leave me alone.
I literally like, but it's like, I'm, you know, like, literally, it's like the rule, you know, is like, and that's where it's like we talked about earlier while we were offline, the incentive system is there to sit here and say, yeah, that's what you should do, and I'm like, No, like as soon as I feel like I've said everything I needed to say, I don't need to re-say it unless we're exploring, like it should be new information and, adding value to your feed, whether you want to watch it or not. Like that's the goal for everything. But that is in and of itself where it's like when somebody's like, oh, you're just doing this for the views and stuff like that. It's like, I wish I was, because I would get way more views and subs.
Yeah.
But it's like, if that was my goal, then yeah, like, okay, I'd be like, fair enough, but it's like when they say that, I'm like, oh my God, like you literally must be crazy, or you're just angry and you're just, helping my channel grow because you're leaving a comment on the video.
So is it true that negative comments and dislikes actually still help with?
I don't know about the dislikes now that they have hidden the dislike count, but I don't think there's just like within any marketing, there is no negative. A lot of people view, like, you could go out and bash a video game and somebody's going to be offended because everybody has a favorite Pokemon. But at the end of the day, the fact that people are talking about the game, it's actually better than if people just stop talking about it. The fact that no one's talking about Anthem is the problem, as opposed to, like, yeah, I don't care. Like, there's no positive or negative to actually say, like, about, oh, this is 61. This is the highest enemy I fought in the game so far. Brian versus the level 61 mountain lion, guys. Can he do it?
Good luck.
54. 54. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm good at video games.
Good speed.
I have a natural skill for video games. That's what I'm told.
Oh, man.
Stick to the side. Stick to the side. And he wins. He wins.
Nice, dude.
First level 61 defeated.
My best friend.
I've reached out to. Sorry, go ahead.
My best friend is one of those people who is like, he'll pick up a game he's never played before and he'll just instantly be amazing at it. And I'm just like, oh, I'm so jealous.
So jealous. Now, T-Pat says, have you guys ever thought about getting Rich or even Asmon on? I don't have Asmon's contact info, but I have reached out to Rich and I have not heard back. So honestly, that would be a matter of if he's interested, and essentially probably a persistence on my part to invite them on. So the answer is yeah. I've stated this multiple times, much to the chagrin of various people and also people who then don't believe me. But if it comes down to video games, like, I'll talk to anybody, like, whether you like them or you hate them, like, that's, I do not care. Like, it's, for me, it's just like, I'm just going to talk to them about this. That's what I want to do. And whether they're big or small, like, we've had people who, like, haven't even hit 1,000 subs. Like, my hope is especially for the podcast, is to set up really cool discussion.
Well, it's always the bigger channels that help out the smaller channels, right? So
not necessarily. Like, if you're not if I was sitting here, let's say, because actually one of the cool things is, I don't know if I know it's 3:30, but Admirite RPG, like, he was here, he just hit like 1,000 subs. He's making really good content, and one of the cool things about that is, like, honestly, it's more about, like, if you're doing and making cool stuff, you'll do fine. But somebody was like, hey, would you review my channel, like, publicly, or hey, would you shout my channel out? And it's like, if you're not, like, it's so weird. Like, by the time, like, if you're doing everything right, you won't need me to shout you out. A shout out could be a curse if you're not doing what you need to be doing. And so usually it ends up being like, if I start identifying, like, oh yeah, you're doing some cool stuff, like, happily, you don't even have to ask, because all I'll do is add kerosene to the fire of what you're doing. I'll help you answer any questions you have as well. Like, if you're like, I'm just confused about X, Y, and Z, Brian, cool, I got you. But, like, if you're sitting here like, hey, I just posted my first video, would you shout out my channel? It's like, okay, you're gonna pick up a couple subs, right? Because people are like, yeah, I want to help you out, and it's gonna hurt you because they're not gonna really be interested in what you got, because you don't actually have anything. You have one video. That's like you gotta. Well,
yeah, that's the thing.
That's what I was like. I'm
trying to make my way as a writer, and it's just like, all right, first thing first, you have to get down a good schedule, right?
Yeah.
You have to be like, okay, post on these days, get stuff out on these days, get a not a schedule. What's the word? A routine, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I guess same thing.
Yeah.
And make sure that when people go to your whatever, your channel, they'll be like, all right, he's posting regularly. He's posting good stuff. I'll keep going. I'll subscribe or whatever.
Yeah. I think that's what I actually also say. I don't have like the raw numbers, but typically I think generally, especially when people come in and hang out and chat, they're like, hey, I've seen a couple of videos, and usually it's a couple that then they're like, okay, I'll go ahead and subscribe, because you're getting more from me than just like, oh, I saw one video and I'm like, oh, I'm in. And then it's like, never not watch another video. It's like, well, okay. That's people's choice. Thanks for the support on that.
The dress of the soldier.
Ooh. Now I got a question for anybody who wants to weigh in on this. So it's like, obviously with Force coming on to Epic Loot, like, would there, like, who would you like to see paired with that? Like, if y'all have an opinion, if there's another like content creator that I haven't had on the show, or one that I've had on and you like to see him back, like, I'm definitely basically, oh man, I'm getting my butt kicked. Death.
What do you FFX?
Which one?
Cole. FFX.
Oh yeah, I get Cole back.
No, I was asking what's your opinion about him and all that.
Well, we've had him on the podcast. Him and I collabed on a couple of healer videos. He's very passionate. Like, I love his passion. I love his knowledge. I haven't actually seen any of his content recently, so if he's gone and done something stupid, like I've definitely, I can't comment on anything recently because I haven't actually watched any 14 content. My relationship with the internet's been like a hand on my face. Like, is there an image? Okay, there's an image. Okay, I'm not looking at it. Okay, it's just text, and it's like, okay, looking for keywords. So I haven't had any bad experiences with Cole. I think he's a great content creator, and the videos I have seen from him are amazing, and his him and I collabing on different healer stuff is great. He has a confidence thing that obviously just comes with, hasn't been on camera. I don't know if he's doing more camera work. I've actually seen him in his thumbnails, so I'm thinking that he's just building up a comfort level with the camera. So that's my opinion. Hopefully that makes sense.
No, it does, and I feel the same way. He's trying to put more and more videos out there. Like, anytime there's a new thing with leveling going on, he's trying to get on it. He's trying to make versus videos. He's trying. He's
hustling. He's hustling, man. Which is great. Which is what you want to see. Like, we definitely continue to need more content creators and more voices, because like, it's sometimes somebody was like, I've blocked every chance I can, but yours are the only videos that show up, and I'm like, I'm trying to get more people making content. Like, I legit, like, if you don't want to see my videos, man, like, I don't want to force you. But I think we're making some good progress. I think the surge is out. Ooh, Lazy P and Akira. That would be great. That's actually a really good pairing. Let me reach out to them. Lazy Peon said no on the podcast. Like, we talked earlier back when he was getting death threats from the 14 community. So we talked about it then, but we could probably get him.
Stupid.
It's like when people
the death threats not the death threats not like
when people talk about how like 14 doesn't have a toxic community. I go, like, my wife was bullied out of this thing. My life's been threatened. Other people's lives have been threatened. Like, you go post anything like that isn't a glowing, like, like if it doesn't say 14 is the best thing that's ever existed ever, over on Reddit, and you get downvoted to hell, like, it's like I got different data points. Like, I'll just leave it at that.
I was gonna say, if FF14 doesn't have a toxic community, you must be new here.
Like, welcome. Like, and the thing about that is, like, that the thing about that mindset, the only thing that concerns me is that I feel has the greatest potential for when you discover it, because it's not like really like in your face, right? Like, people typically see like the toxic side of it coming from more competition, and there's less of that in 14. So it has and manifests itself in other ways. And when people end up accidentally running into it, it can be quite shocking. And it's unfortunate, because it's like, I've talked to a lot of people, and it's, like, yeah, like I'm saying, you know what, I'm sorry that you got caught off guard by this, like, let's talk through it. You'll be fine. Like, like, it's okay. Sometimes let's vent that anger, but maybe not do that in game.
All right. So Brian, just oddball in this.
Okay.
What would you think about 14 having like a clear time for dungeons and other content?
Oh, like in terms of like speed timer? They've got that for the unsynced stuff. So I would love a leaderboard. Like honestly, I've always said like PvP isn't always just, you know, me actually attacking you and you attacking me. Like PvP is a leaderboard. It's a way of just like, you know, and I honestly would just personally say connect it to more about your friends and your free company than anything else. Like I don't, maybe there's a global board, right? Like, okay, cool. But imagine if your free company was like, hey, all right. And then you could see who's in for the week, like, or the week or the month, or like some kind of just like who's run more dungeons than anybody else this month. Oh yeah, that was T-Pat, like, man, how did you get 90 dungeons in this month? That's ridiculous. That's next month I'm gonna crush it. Like it gives you that it incentivizes more that sandbox without having, essentially what ends up happening is that you have content creators kind of filling in the gap where you could have a system in game that could actually also do the same thing without having to sit here and say, oh, do you want to like have a better 14 experience? Be sure to follow Work the Game and Ginger Prime. You know, like no, like I think that's ridiculous, but that essentially is the gamification that we have, right? And we saw that with UCOB, we saw that with all the different like you know, Crystal, you know, or the deep dungeon stuff. We saw that with, heck, I did a speedrunning video. Have y'all seen that speedrunning video yet? If you haven't, it's on the homepage. Watch it 1,000 times.
I've seen a bit of it.
Oh, good. Sorry, what did you say?
What's it over?
Sasha. So I ended up getting 12th place in the world in for Sasha. And so I'm gonna go back and do some more speedrunnings, you know, because it's fun. I might even do some Mario speedruns and stuff. Like I don't know, like it's just fun. Like it's just sitting here taking a system and saying, huh. And it was like, okay, like how do I do it? And I was like, the guy is in first place. Like I did not break 3 minutes. The guy in first place, I think, is like at 2 minutes 25 seconds for clearing Sasha. I'm like, that's insane. So, but there's other, like they have records, and this is all done through speedrun.net or com or something, and it's like they literally have, you know, all the different dungeons, and I can't wait to see how the you know, Endwalker changes things, right? Because now Scholar has some kind of insane sprint. Maybe that makes Scholar the more competitive of the jobs. Yeah. I don't know.
An expedient 10% damage reduction plus sprint.
Yeah. And AO says, I smashed like on that video, but then I had to replace my monitor after doing so. Oh no! Like, I'm hitting that like button. That's so freaking funny.
When you take it a little bit too far, you actually hit it.
Yeah, one of the things like I do, like in the videos, is a part of like helping me get over my anxiety for like the call to action and be like, hey guys, subscribe. Is I'll be like, I'll do a compliment or I'll do like a title, and it just makes me laugh. It makes me think it's like, oh, it's just a funny way of kind of saying, hey, welcome, and you know, like, hey, people got different titles and things like that, and you know, and then I realized in the New World stuff, a lot of new people were like coming into the video and the channel, and then it was like, oh, it's actually not a title you unlock in game. I was like, I'm just trying to be a little bit more clear that it's like this is ethereal. You keep track of it. You can go and put it on. You can tell people you address me as Dragon Slayer. You know, I got it from Ginger Prime. You know, it's like I would take any integration that a company, if Final Fantasy and New World wanted to have some kind of collab integration by watching videos, I give you titles. That'd be great. But I do not have that power.
Here's the big thing, though. We all know, you know, the pros that can come out of, you know, having a public leaderboard for PvE.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm down.
What do you think the biggest cons would be? Like at least the top 3.
I think essentially you could then end up having it breed like that more competition nature, and where people might be like, I'm coming here to relax. So let's say you had a player who's just not into that kind of content. Like it could feel like they, you know, like that they're not doing it, that they're not completing it. And one of the things 14 does a really good job of is that's pretty much the main thing that a lot of the community, for the majority, mostly agree. Like the story is one of the key pillars. If you pay, like, you could not, like, if you attach any kind of progression or reward system behind a leaderboard, I think that's going to add stress to the player, and that kind of goes against what Yoshi P's, you know, mantra is with the game. So I could think that could be kind of that con. I think essentially, it makes visible without, you know, with little to less, you know, effort, that all of a sudden you can find that, like, maybe it ends up preventing players from feeling truly free to experience the game the way they want, and they might have to try to experience the game, you know, in ways that they're just not, like, kind of built for. If that makes sense. I can't think of a third negative.
It does, but then again, who's going to go into a group of randoms you get from Duty Finder to be able to, you know?
Right. Like, if, like, but people will find, you know, like, the human side of our minds will find a way to try and exclude people. Like, just the concept that people in Fortnite have a term called default, and kids, like, who have never made $1 in their life, you know, and don't even know the value of money, are going to be, like, trying to make fun of, you know, kids who can't afford to buy, like, a season or something of that nature, or use the default skin, can't go to the cash shop. Like humanity will find a way to try and, you know, make themselves feel superior and others inferior. And I mean, it happens in Final Fantasy too. Like, it's like, you know, if you're not enjoying the game the way that I'm enjoying the game, then, you know, like, and I see it in the comments. I've seen people like, who are you to even speak about this? And it's like, I don't know. I don't know why you're here clicking on this video. Like, I've never said that you should value my opinion. Right. I think that comes down to that sub number. And that's honestly one of the things that's like, I think you should listen, and then you should judge it based off of the words, not sitting here trying to automatically try to discount because you assume. But that's just the old man in me.
Well, ultimately, I get what you're saying, and I appreciate your opinion. It's just, it would be something, a fun PvE thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's be honest, in today's PvP, if you have a little bit of laggy internet, it ain't that good.
Oh yeah. Now, like, if you were saying, like, Brian, can you wave a magic wand and get this feature, even if there's going to be maybe a perceived downside? Oh, 100% yes. Like, 100% yes. Like, I think I've advocated for more gamification of 14 for years, and it's that as long as it doesn't have a progression element, so that all of a sudden you don't feel pressure to sit here and be like, well, if I'm not speedrunning my dungeons, I'm not, like, we don't want a WoW situation, like, oh, I didn't run, you know, this thing, and I got to go do all this stuff just so I don't fall behind the train. Like, we, you know, it should be just literally that. Like, how can we take this game and make it fun? You know, I think especially when it comes down to it, though, like, let's say leaderboards, for example, I think they should only like kick in if you're doing kind of a solo, or if you're doing a pre-made party, as opposed to like, hey, because all of a sudden you're sitting here, like, as a player, like, hey, I'm trying to run this fast, guys, let's go. And you're like, okay, but this is my first time here. You know, but I would love even more stats too. Like, I would love to see more stats about the dungeons and the, you know, like, what I've done and the damage and et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, on top of that, we kind of already do have that. I mean, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, guys. I want to pull all the mobs.
Yeah. Well, and we do, right? You know, you're right about that in terms of, like, big pools and dungeons and stuff, for sure. But I definitely am for, I'm definitely for leaderboards. I'm definitely for, you know, that kind of content. Anything that kind of just, like, you know, just like, yeah, like, let's have some fun with this. But I'm also, like, a fan of PvP in general. I think PvP is excellent content that helps fill the gap in between curated content, because let's face it, PvP is never the same. You know, I run that dungeon, that boss is going to do what that boss has been programmed to do. We play PvP, and I'm, you know, like, I have to adjust to what you're doing, you know, and I think that adds a lot more replay value in gaps. And that's actually why I'm thrilled with
it's adaptive gameplay.
Yeah, and I'm thrilled. Like, honestly, I'm really excited about what 6.1 looks to be bringing for us all, you know?
Is that the revamp? That's the revamp for
PvP? Yeah, that's where we're getting seasons and
from what I hear.
Yeah, seasons and a battle pass, and, like, it's like, okay,
Battle
yeah.
pass, that'll be interesting.
I think it's going to be really neat. They're removing role restrictions. So like
Right.
the whole thing is like, if I queue up for PvP, like if I have to wait for more than a couple of minutes, like that's too long. That is too long. Like you want to sit here and just find the people to play against. And one of the problems we discovered was this, like based off of how and the fact they're going to a 5v5, I was like, that's perfect. That's perfect. Like that way we're not sitting here and just like, okay, everything's just reliant 100% on the healer, you know?
Well, that's the issue with PvP, pure PvP games in general, is that you have to have one, engaging gameplay, and then two, you have to have the players to perpetuate that. And the issue with, you know, certain games that I've played is that people don't hold on to the gameplay, so they leave, and then the queue becomes too long, and then players stop playing the game because the queues are too long.
And so it's self-fulfilling.
And then eventually the game dies. And like one of my favorite games of all time, Dreadnought, has that issue, and so now it has a player base of like 100 dedicated players. But the queue times are like, I don't know, 2 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, T-Pat says I only play PvP for XP, which many people just throw to the side. There's actually, the XP rewards for the PvP roulette is actually really good.
Yeah, from what I hear, it's what is it, like half a level or something.
Oh, it's massive. As I get on through that sentence,
I want to say maybe around a third at least.
I think definitely more than a third, but 100%, dude. Like it's like I'm like, oh yeah, and it's weird because it's like the nice thing about it is it's so fast. I'm not used to that. You know, I'm like, oh man, it's been a while. They need to work on this weapon swapping stuff.
Yeah, it can be a little janky sometimes.
Oh, come on. All death, all day. All I do is die, no matter what.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
I'm just watching your...
I'm going to hop off, but thanks for the little tidbits and everything, and I hope you'll have a good Christmas.
Yeah, dude. I hope you have a good Christmas too, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Hopefully we don't get another snowpocalypse in Texas, you know?
Dude, honestly, I'm like, that was insane last year, and I still need, like, thankfully we didn't have any leaks here, but I do need to get, have somebody come out and to kind of descale my water heater or something like that, so that way it's just, like, not gonna sit here and stress about it. So, we will see.
I mean, hopefully everyone has, you know, a little experience from, you know...
I got that. We got the hair dryer. I've got us like, you know, like as long as the pipes don't, like I hopefully I'll be better prepared this time around.
Yeah, my biggest problem was the power going out.
Oh, dude, that was surreal. What's up, Eagle Eye?
It happens. It's once every 10 years or something.
No. They said it's like once in 100 or something like that, but. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, but honestly, like it is Texas, so if we could do this back to back. We could do this back to back.
Texas back to back champs right there.
Yeah, dude, 100%, man. Let me just break this down.
Yeah. No, just tech here. Freaking people don't know how to drive on ice because hell, we never get it.
Oh, dude, yeah, Texans do not know how to drive on ice. Remember, like when we had the Super Bowl. We had a big ice storm at the same time, and like all the ice trucks actually were diverted down to the Super Bowl for that event, and so my wife and I, we ended up being frozen in for a good long time. Valid?
9 months later, your fifth child.
6, dude. I already have 5.
Oh wow.
Why
won't it let me transfer stuff from here to what's going on?
Shit, with 5.
Oh, there's a bug.
Oh yeah.
You can't transfer all. Like you can't, if you click the arrow, it doesn't allow you. So hold shift and left click each item. It's a bug with this new update.
Okay, I guess that's gonna get fixed tonight.
Nothing too major.
Patch is rolling out tonight anyway. So.
Shift left click each item.
Thank you very much.
Drag and drop.
I'll take the shift click. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
So,
I was like, I got plenty of space. Like, what is it barking at me for?
Yeah. Nightsoul thanked me for that because he was like dragging and dropping every item, and I was like, just good.
We're good.
Luckily, when you click an item, it gives you like a little menu of commands.
Yeah, that's actually really nice, but holding down shift is much faster. Click. All right, so I just took, what did I replace? I had actual food there. Let me go ahead and put in a light ration. For heck's sake. Energizing, satisfying meal. Perfect. Oh. Good. My inventory space is returned. We're actually at 387. We might actually play some Final Fantasy tonight. I might do a little bit more progging on this story. All right, let me go see if I can knock out 2. Because going down, I've tried going down south twice, and I've got my butt handed to me both times. So, you know, if you keep repeating the same event and keep failing, like, is it really the event's problem or is it me? Most likely it is I. I got all my housing items. I've been getting my free unlocks. That's actually one of the
water.
No, I'm actually here in. No, I'm in Morningdale.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I see. What quest are you trying to get done?
I'm just doing like the various
like town
board. Doing like syndicate. I'm just questing. I'm just like. I'm at 54 and a half. So like I'm, you know, honestly, and then I was doing some of the snow stuff. So just gonna keep questing. I'd like to be level 60 before the new year. I think that would be really nice. But I actually like, I just play this game and I'm like, you know, somebody was like, how is it that you're not at 60? It's like, I don't think you really know how busy I am. It's like, and so it's like, if I put like hard goals and timelines, games would not be fun anymore. Like I refuse to turn games into work. I refuse to make that like my job. Like if I cannot talk to you about what I love, like
no one should do that.
Oh, dude, like
games should never be work.
Well, and that's where it's like, if I sat here and I was like, oh gosh, you know, it's like, and I'm stressed out, like that's not a good, like, no, like, no. It just doesn't make sense. I'm like, if I can't, I'm not gonna. I have perfectly accepted that I will not be the first person to level cap in games. That, like, you know, it's like I'm fine with that. Like, I'm happy about that. I think it makes me more like, you know, just the fact that I post videos. Like, still just a gamer. You know, it's like I put my pants on one leg at a time, like the rest of us.
I mean, I've been less busy than you, and I'm level 59.
Yeah.
You know, but mainly because of the way I've been. Oh, thank God they're starting to upgrade stuff. But mainly because I've been leveling up through crafting and gathering mainly.
Yeah. I've been doing, you know, I've been doing very minimal questing, and I've been doing a lot of exploring. Oh, dude, the exploring in this, and like, I'm doing questing because it's like, yeah, it is a good source of experience. And now that we're merged, it's actually really exciting to be like, oh yeah, I constantly am PvP flagging this game. It was very safe back when we had maybe 400, 500 people on our server. Now it's like, oh yeah, now we have a queue to get back on our server. Like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, there's definitely a chance that I'm gonna run into people. I think, yeah, I'm really excited about what the future of New World holds. It'll be interesting to see when they do roll out an expansion. Because like you said, like, you know, is it 2 years? Or like, you know, I think a 2-year cadence is good, but I honestly think that depending on what the team is capable of, that if they ended up rolling out an expansion, like after a year, that actually, I think, communicates a lot to the player base, but it also then can set a cadence that people are like, we get yearly expansions, you know, it's like, well,
I mean, as long as it's not sporadic, like Star Wars: The Old Republic. Star Wars: The Old Republic, they've come up with expansions seemingly randomly.
I think from what I hear, it sounds like they're trying to go with the kind of 14 model. It's like, come up with a consistent schedule. Like, you know, can you hit an update every 4 months, 5 months, whatever it is? Like, just find what works. And then that essentially helps build out that trust, that it also helps get that excitement loop coming back. And you know, so right now they've honestly been rolling out. It looks like if their next big update is February, like that's exactly kind of a 3 month, you know, 3.5 month model. Man, I'm getting my ass handed. I'm dead. All right. And I'm in 14. What a fitting thing. So what we're guys gonna do is I actually am going to play Final Fantasy 14. I am going to send us over to another stream. Queue Boss defeated. Exactly. Let me go ahead and I did inventory management 101. Let me make sure I get the other stream actually public, and I'll set it to actually roll over there. Let me, oh, no, 1 second guys. A little bit of work on my end, a little bit of work.
Huh.
I wasn't expecting to beat the boss. The fact is, like, without doing anything, it just literally beat the boss. And that's a really good sign. I think that's a sign of real good hope for everybody, like all of us that have been, you know, struggling. What's up, Fear the Beard? How you doing tonight? YouTube's being YouTube. Heck yeah, dude. I don't know how long I'll play 14 tonight, but I'll play. I want to see what happens next in the story. Come on. Come on, YouTube. Alright, let's see here. And I already made a thumbnail because that is awesome. Okay, everything's looking good. Now, set this to 10:30, and look right now. All right, can I actually hit go live with this? Oh, I don't know if I want that because that'd be weird in the edit. Okay, so let me go back here and let me click on this and click on edit. No worries, Disco Ray. Thanks for stopping by. Let me go ahead and say under redirect, add to, yep, perfect, save. All right, it should be set up for redirect. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to end the stream. Let me go ahead and just actually quit out of the game itself. Exit to desktop. Yes. And 14 is up. Perfect. Y'all can see it. Let me go ahead and actually minimize that. Our little Queue Boss is done. All right, I'm going to end this stream. It should redirect you. Otherwise, you should see it on the home page. If you guys want to hang out for that, I'm going to actually also bounce out of Discord. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks to you.
No worries.
And hopefully you have a good night. So I'm going to go do some MSQ. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in a second.